is my birthday, so I decided to just treat myself and buy a whole bunch of books. There are some really fun books here, so I thought it might be kind of fun to do a haul, like a birthday book haul. The first few books I got were actually off of the TikTok shop. This one's called Dating and Dismemberment. It's a monster romance, and both of the characters are fighting over the right to haunt a camp. Also, it's, oh my god, that's my real name. Dude, I'll just blur it in editing. The next one that I got was also from TikTok shop. I was saving it for this video, so I haven't opened it yet. The author is S.L. Rowland, and these are cozy fantasies. There's like art and 3 books in here and like a bundle of stuff. Ooh, bookmarks! I love bookmarks! More bookmarks! They have little tassels on them. These stickers, they're so cute! I'm not gonna lie, this is what attracted me to get this. I thought this would be really fun to put on my Kindle. Like, they're so cute! The little kitty! Okay, this is the first book. It's called Path to Villainy. It's about a kobold. I think he's in a game and he becomes sentient. So he kind of, you know how like when you're in a game, like you're playing The Sims or something and you're locking your Sims in the pool without a ladder? I think that's basically what this is. I think he remembers the quote murder hobos that have passed by him. He's a bard. He plays music, I guess, before they go into battle to empower them. And you know, when you're in a game, sometimes it's fun to mess with the NPCs a little bit. He said enough was enough, and this is the story of that. He becomes a villain, I suppose. I just thought this was so fun. I've never read a book like this before, and I wanted to give it a try, so I hope this is good, because it sounds something right up my alley. There's more art. So pretty. I love the art for this. Look! Oh my kitty! These next 2 were special editions that he was selling. They're hardbacks. I think these are signed as well. Oh my god, wait, there's more stuff? Hold on. Ah! Oh my gosh, I think these are page inserts. Oh, that's so freaking cute. Ooh. This one is called Cursed Cocktails by S.L. Rowland. This is a book where he is a retired mage and his magic has given him chronic pain. I think this is based off something that the author has to deal with. I'm not 100% sure, because I remember seeing a TikTok where he was like, I'm gonna write what I know, and he was talking about what he has to deal with from day to day. Oh my goodness! Guys, there's more art. These are more page inserts. Whoa, that is... I think this is the coolest art of a goblin I've ever seen. Ooh. The next one is by the same author. This one is called Sword and Thistle. Give me a quest set in a fantasy world with the possibility of dragons. Sign me up. I'm in. Sign me up. This feels like Christmas. I mean, technically this is a birthday haul, so it's kind of Christmas because my birthday is kind of a birthmas. The next one is a manga series. There's only 3 out right now. It's called Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. The male lead, he's a 45-year-old office worker, and he's just done. He's overwhelmed. He's done with it all, and she invites him to go smoking behind a supermarket. They form, I guess, an unlikely friendship, and he doesn't realize it, but he actually already knows her. I think might be, I get romance vibes. Do you guys get romance vibes from this? Okay, if you don't like spice, I wouldn't read this. This one is called A Merry Little Meet Cute, and I'm not gonna lie, this plot summary of this just made me want to read it. It looks like something that was really fun. Our main female protagonist is a corn star and he is in a band, or he's famous or something, and somehow, some way they end up acting in a Hallmark-like movie together, and he watches her spicy videos and she's a fan of him. That sets up such an interesting plot to me. I feel like this is gonna be funny. I hope it's gonna be funny. This is a book that I have been eyeing for a while. One, because this cover is freaking gorgeous. That's so pretty. This one is called The Tatami Time Machine Blues. Somehow in this book, someone spills Coca-Cola into an air conditioner, and when they clean it up, they find out that their tatami mat is a time machine. And I think that introduces a whole lot of problems for them, and we just follow that story. And it just sounded so interesting. I'm not gonna lie. This is one where I was just like, I need that. I need it because the cover is so pretty. The next book is called Daisy Jones and the Six. I've never read this author before, but Taylor Jenkins Reid. They wrote Carrie Soto is Back and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I've never read those. I've heard a lot about them. I'm not really interested in those, but this one I was interested in. The style of the book is interview style. This woman is telling the story of her band and coming to age in the late 60s in LA, and I love stories like that. I love stories that take place in like a nostalgic Hollywood type vibe. I love those type of stories. I eat them up. This one is called The Duke Alone, and this is a book where I don't know how this happens, but her family moved to the countryside and Myrtle is left alone to fend for herself. This is a historical romance, and this dude, he's a hermit. He lives by himself, and I think he's a widower. This is gonna be perfect read for after Christmas or in January. It takes place in winter, and I love stories of two introverted people or just people that are kind of lonely finding solace in each other. I think that's such a cozy plot for me personally. I love stuff like that. This one, oh my gosh, dude, chat, this took me forever to find. Okay, so I have Lightlark. I like Lightlark. It's about an island that emerges every 100 years, and there's like trials and stuff like that, and it's really cool. But I went on a scavenger hunt for this. I went to like 3 Barnes and Nobles and 2 thrift stores trying to find this. I could not find this anywhere. I had to get it off of Amazon, and it's like the dust jacket's been, but at this point I give up. I'm just gonna keep it because this was so hard to find. I don't know why, but it was. I finally got it. I can continue the series. The next 3 are horror books. This one's called Ghost Radio. I'm pretty picky with the horror books that I pick out, but this one just sounded so interesting. So there's a radio host, and he hosts something called Ghost Radio. On this radio show, they talk about ghost stories and other horrors and stuff like that people call in with stories, and he tells stories, and the creatures from the stories are blending into the real world, and the radio host is trying to decipher in between the real world and the world of the dead or the monsters from the stories. Like they're starting to intermingle. There's like some crazy stuff going on with the radio waves in this. It just sounds so interesting. This was one of the books where I was just attracted because of the cover. I love like 80s horror aesthetic. This just reminds me of that type of aesthetic, like the cover. This is just a whole bunch of Christmas horror stories. There's a theme with me getting things because of the cover. This is another one where I love the cover, and I started reading it on Kindle Unlimited, and I really liked it. I wanted a paperback version to finish it with because I love being able to actually hold a physical book, and I love the first 2 chapters of this book that I've read on my Kindle. The Christmas tree, it's evil. This reminds me of a game I played last year where there's like an evil Christmas tree, and I love the idea of that game. It was about someone who was basically descending into madness. This one is called Everything is Temporary. Basically, there's this family, and something really tragic happens to this family, and the person who committed the tragedy has an unbelievable traumatic story from his childhood that has made him hate Christmas, and it has something to do with a talking Christmas tree. So this is a really cool book. This is what the game Cyberpunk 2077, there were other games before it, but that's what that whole franchise was based off of. It was based off of this book. This is a really old science fiction book, and it's considered a classic. I'm reading this for a different project, and I wanted to get the hard copy so I could annotate it. I'm trying to get into more science fiction, but I want to read like the old science fiction books first. That's something I tend to do when I get into a new genre, is I will go back and read some of the old classics before I pick up the newer books, unless the newer books just are super captivating. This is a book that I've been excited for a while. It's called The North is the Night. This is one of the prettiest books I have. This book, look, the cover is so pretty, but also the end pages, And then the foiling on the hardcover, that looks so creepy. I think the story itself is there are two friends that live in a village, and one of them gets drug away by the goddess of death, and the other friend has to go on a venture to save her. The goddess of death has more plans for the friend that got taken than they originally bargained for. And I think this is just the journey to save her friend. This was my book of the month book. This is called The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, and I think this might be my next read. It's not super long, which is perfect because I don't think these books should be super long, because I feel like the longer these types of books are, they drag out. From what I'm getting from this is an enemies to lover mystery thriller romance. She's a mystery writer and he's a thriller author, and she gets locked out of her room, and they both get an invitation to a mysterious Christmas party, and at that Christmas party someone disappears. I've heard nothing but good things about it, so I have high hopes for this. Also, I just love this cover art. Okay, first of all, I love the cover on this. It's by Jay Kristoff. It's called The Empire of Vampire. So funny story, I actually bought book 2 to this a couple of months ago with every intention of reading it, but I didn't realize that this was a series, and I was so just like I haven't been able to get this until now, and I want to read this so bad. So this has been compared loosely to Stephen King's The Stand, and that's kind of what sold me on it. I love The Stand. That's one of my favorite Stephen King books. Also, I really like Swan Song, which is very similar to The Stand. But anyway, Empire of the Vampire. It's about this guy. He's part of the church that is trying to defend the world against these vampires that have taken over, because the last sunrise has been 20 some years ago, and it just follows his journey. Wait, hold on. Let me read the summary. Imprisoned by the very monsters he vowed to destroy, the last Silver Saint is forced to tell his story. A story of legendary battles and forbidden love, of faith lost and friendships won, of the wars of the blood and the forever king, and the quest for humanity's last remaining hope, the Holy Grail. I don't know why. I love vampire stories. It has a blurb from V.E. Schwab. I love V.E. Schwab. This is going to be something I'll probably read in January, but it is a chunker, but that's fine. It still doesn't compare to Wind and Truth. Oh yeah, 732 pages. Pfft. Compared to Wind and Truth, that's child's play. Oh my god. This is so heavy. Oh, they're both heavy. Okay. Why do they look like they're the same size? Dude, books are weird. Okay, this is 1.3k pages. I've read this whole thing. This one's only like what, 750? I would estimate 732. Why do they look the same size? I get maybe the paper thickness and maybe the way they have the words formatted on the page. The Wind and Truth is by far the longest book I own, so that's what the heck. Also, this is a book that I didn't get this for my birthday, but my edition, it's signed. Yeah. This is so fun. I love being able to talk about books with people. So if you have any ideas for content that you want me to make, let me know. I think next week I'm going to try to do a cozy 24-hour challenge to get through the rest of my TBR. So keep a lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Also, if you're watching this on Friday around 6 p.m. Pacific time, right now on my Twitch channel, I have an outfit debut revealing this outfit because it's new. If you guys want to watch me live and maybe talk about books or something, come join me over there on twitch.tv/darktd2. I play lots of games and we just have fun.